Well, hello there. Welcome to the 81st episode of Under the Radar. It is a lovely day, and today's release is going to be a little bit more quick and concise as opposed to episode 80, where I went over an hour and a half in length. Definitely my longest rant so far, but there was a lot to cover in that episode. So today, relax, and it should go by very quickly. However, I want to mention that I recently dropped another single and music video for an additional song off the Red Tape that will be coming out in 2025. This song is a cover song of a very obscure band from Cleveland, Tennessee, a band called Key of David from their very first debut full-length, Fall of Babylon. The song is entitled World That Was, and I had my own children participate in the filming of the music video. So enjoy that, and feel free to go to my Bandcamp page and download and stream it, or go on Spotify. It's on all the major digital streaming platforms, so feel free to check that out. And then also go to my website if you get a chance, samswansonmusic.com. If you're looking for any gifts for the holidays for a loved one that likes antiquated media or independent art, there's a lot to choose from there, over 50 items in fact. So samswansonmusic.com/store. I appreciate that. I hope that you have a happy holiday this season and a happy new year. And without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Now, the band that I'm going to cover today, I feel as though I need to describe the history of what led up to them. So let me start this off by saying that today's band will relate back to a number of episodes and hint toward some also future episodes that I'll be covering. Let's start with the members of this band. Now, number one of the guitarists of this band was Tom Conrad of 504 Plan and The Academy Is. So you can go back and watch at least 3 or 4 episodes and get a little bit of history on Tom and his involvement with other bands before this band today. Also, Tom's girlfriend at the time, and I believe now they are married, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb, I think his wife, Danielle Steger, a self-proclaimed North Shore brat. Her little brother, Max Steger, was the other guitarist of this band. And I will go ahead and bring out this little baby here. I remember watching Max before he was in this band, Blacktop Morning, at the Stegers' backyard, actually, in I believe summer of 2003. It might have been July or August. I remember Split Habit playing. I remember Joe Troman being there. I remember Adam Siska being there. I remember a lot of different people being there. A band called Rydia, those members were there that were on this gal Jess's label. But anyway, I wanted to say that I saw Max Steger, I believe, in his first band. I don't remember what they were called, but I remember them doing a cover of Disturbed, of that song, because I know nothing about Disturbed, of course, other than the song that goes, wah. And I remember these youngsters doing that song and some others as well. A little bit of an aggressive, heavy edge to them. But yeah, nonetheless, I saw Max perform in his own backyard. And then later, Max formed a band called Blacktop Morning, which I'm wearing their shirt. Thank you, Stegers, for giving me that shirt. And I believe they gave me this CD at Beat Kitchen when I was watching them. Anyway, they were a very good band. The singer of this band went on to form another band called Amrita, which I'll be covering in the future. This is the original pressing of Blacktop Morning's debut release, which ended up getting some bonus tracks added to it and was re-released on a label I believe called Tyrannosaurus Rex Records, which was owned by the singer of the Counting Crows. And then the band disbanded, and Max went on to form today's band with some other members, and that band is called Empires. Now, as we talk a little bit more about the members of Empires, I believe the original bass player's name was Al. I remember talking to Al because he used to work at a restaurant in Palatine, and I would wait there every morning for my friend to pick me up to go to Itasca to work. And he was a great guy. He was their original bass player that played on to today's release. And then Mike Robinson was their drummer. I do not remember if Mike was the original drummer, but he was an Ohio native that played drums in the band for most of their career. And then the final member of this band, who is one of my favorite people from Chicago that I ever brushed shoulders with, a guy named Sean Van Vliet. And before we get into this band, I would like to describe a little bit about my history with Sean and Sean's just overall story because it's very inspiring, compelling, very talented, and just salt of the earth human being. I've gotten to watch him do all kinds of things, honestly, from the sidelines here. So the first time I met Sean was at the Just for Fun roller rink. He was playing bass in a hardcore metal band called Illuminati, and they were playing with my friend John Fawcett in his band, Johnny Bodacious in the Bad Attitudes. And we hit it off just kind of chatting at that show. And then I came to realize during our conversation that Sean was the original co-founder of LLR Records with Johnny Minardi. And I remember seeing posts from both of them on the original website and him being involved with that. Anyway, this was 2003. I think this must have been July, probably around the same time that I saw Max Steger perform, to be honest. Sean then went on to leave Illuminati, and then a couple years later was in a band called For the Birds, and they were kind of an acoustic, little R&B influence band that I have a CDR that he gave me, but they were really good. They toured, and then when Tom Conrad left the Academy Is before Santi was recorded, they formed this band today called Empires. And they wasted no time and put out a full length right away as soon as the band was formed. And there was a lot of excitement about this band. And today's release is called Howl. It's a 15-song full length. And while I do not have the original album or the whole 15-song album, I don't believe that they ever pressed it physically. However, I did go to their first show at the Beat Kitchen. I believe that was summer of 2008. And this was around that time period where I was doing the Alarm Comp. I was squatting with my friends Josh and Dustin, as I talked about in that last episode. But went to go see Empires, and we jammed this thing a lot, this little sampler. Before I get into playing some of the songs off of this release, I want to say that this band needs to be noted for a number of reasons, but one of the most important reasons I think that Empire's Howl should be mentioned today is because, again, we have to go contextually back to the history of 2008. 2008, this is before streaming was a thing. This is even before free downloads was a thing. Everything cost money back then. We were still buying records, buying CDs, or buying digital copies of things. And Empires, I believe they are the first ones, second actually though to another band, which I have to bring up, a band called You, Me, and Everyone We Know. I think I've mentioned them in the past, but You, Me, and Everyone We Know was signed to Rushmore Records and then later signed to Doghouse Records, but they did an EP while they were on Rushmore Records. They were still like independent, and they did a short release featuring the singer Max Bemis of Say Anything on that EP, and they just decided to give it away for free, which was crazy talk at the time. Like, we were just like, you're just giving away what you paid to make? That's crazy. I know right now in 2024 that doesn't sound crazy, but it was back then. And so they gave away an EP, free download on their website, and I wanted to give them credit for that. However, within a month or less, or maybe just a little more, Empires came along with a 15-song full-length entitled Howl, and they did the same damn thing. And to me, it was like, we were all talking about it. Can you believe this band gave it away for free? And they opened the floodgates, I will say this, for that. They kind of paved the way for that. And by giving it away, they garnered such a fan base with LiveJournal and all the social media sites that were out at the time. They did a really great job. And then they did a remix album of it where people would donate remixes. I believe Radiohead at the same time, this was the same time they did In Rainbows, and they were independent, and they did sort of a similar thing with their remix album. But yeah, I just wanted to paint kind of a backdrop here for the context of this, because Empires really went out on a limb to give this thing away. So at the show, again, this is one of 300 copies that was given away of a 3-song sampler. This has 2 songs that were on the album, but it also has an unreleased song that closes out this CDR. So let's go ahead and get into the songs on here. The first opening track on this sampler off of Howl is entitled Midnight Land. Now, immediately, the style of this is much different than any of the members' previous bands. The songs that made this sampler were a little more like alternative rock meets a little bit of soul in there too, but it had a groove to it. A little different than For the Birds definitely had some of that vibe, but Sean's voice, my God, great singer. My favorite song, in fact, on Howl is the second song on here. This song is entitled Valmont.
In the time I had you dressed in silhouette, we had both been dark and heart obsessed. You followed as I fell and you dug inside my chest. You told me just to breathe, but you stole my breath. Once again I plotted thick, two ex-lovers dropping quick. We looked so frantic for the fix, no syringe could ever give. Oh, I just let it ride in, so damn tragic, so fantastic. To the great heights of vanity, we can climb high and reign this sea. On the poor fools, our pleasure deep. Oh, if fine fools, we smile and bleed. Smile and bleed.
Boy, that song, for some reason, it reminds me of Faith No More's Evidence, which is one of my favorite songs by Faith No More off of King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime, my favorite record by Faith No More. But something about that song, just always loved it. And I remember Josh Patterson and I just playing the crap out of this little sampler while we were doing all the artwork to the Alarm comp and getting that ready for release at the Treehouse. Yeah, just great. I remember this show also at Beat Kitchen being completely sold out. There was a lot of hype and excitement about this band. You can go and get Howl on their Bandcamp page still, but I will say this, there's one valuable piece of history that is not in any of their releases on Bandcamp. I believe that it's still unreleased, and only those who got a copy at the show got this track. So I'm going to go ahead and play the final song on the sampler, an unreleased track entitled Stunned.
Stunned in your room, violet-faced, but I can't help but to be here. Dark cover you up here, shadow trailing with the dim stare. I'm of the worst intention, by default in hanging. What could have ever happened? Moment of love is lost in your thinking. You're tangled and tired of the ones that desire you. The moment I wanted, you took what I gave you, and you held it fast in the morning pain. I'm of the worst intention, here by default in hanging. What could have ever happened? A moment of us is lost in your thinking. I've got to wish you on your way. I've got to wish you on your way. I've got to wish you on your way. Wish you on your way. Hope on your time. Hope on your own time. Well, I've got to wish you on your way. I've got to wish you on your way. Wish you on your way. I've got to wish you on your way. Hope on your time. Hope on your own time.
Well, there you go. There's a little time capsule here of a band that I think deserves to be mentioned in this series and deserves certainly to be remembered for what they did in regard to breaking ground with giving away their music for free. After the Howl album came out, they did an album called Bang, and there was a music video featuring Janae White in it, who was Pete Wentz's old girlfriend, actually, which a lot of the original Fall Out Boy material off of Take This to Your Grave was written about her. But yeah, Janae was a cool chick as well. Always enjoyed her. Cut my hair a couple times. And then after some of those releases, they did Garage Hymns, and then they finally signed to Island Records. And I remember when they released an EP, How Good Does It Feel? They performed that song off of that EP on Letterman, I think it was, but it could have been Conan. I can't remember exactly, but this was maybe back in 2013, somewhere around there. And I couldn't find the footage of that, but it was a really exciting moment to watch Sean perform that on there. And they really did give it their all and try to toured extensively, played with a lot of notable bands. The band put in a lot of hard work and has quite a discography that you can still go download on Bandcamp. After Empires disbanded, though, I would like to talk a little bit more about Sean, because Sean is a very busy man. He was kind of ping-ponging back between Nashville and Chicago, writing, co-writing. I think he joined some songwriters guilds and such, but in 2018, I kind of reconnected with Sean, or maybe it was a little after, and he had been doing this other group with a friend called Nudes. That's Nvdes, and he did some co-writing on this and performing on it. And I believe the song "Ooh La La, All Eyes on Us" got a lot of traction. Like, it got featured in a lot of commercials and such. And I even remember them reposting a video of Tom Morello kind of being impressed with the song, which was really, really cool. But yeah, so you should check out Nudes, their debut full length that was released in 2018. Great project. And then I remember talking to Sean one more time days before he announced that he was launching a new project, and he told me all about it. This was, I think, in 2020 or 2021. It was during the pandemic, during the lockdown, or slightly after. But Sean had started a band called Blame My Youth, and he told me on the phone that they were about to be featured on the new Bill and Ted reboot film on their soundtrack for the credits, which was very impressive to me. I can't imagine having a song in a movie like that. So the band Blame My Youth, check them out. They've released a bunch of music by now, and Sean is just a very prolific, talented guy. And I truly mean this. Out of all the people that I've watched succeed from Chicago, I think that Sean deserves every bit of it based on just my interactions with him. And it just makes me smile to watch him continue to ascend and see success. So check out Blame My Youth. There's a lot of really humorous content on their Instagram page that they've done from tours. Really enjoyable, but great band. Again, check out Empire's Howl and some of their other releases on Bandcamp. Yeah. In other news, I'm just getting ready to go into the new year. A lot of big plans. I'm looking forward to releasing more episodes. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break before I get into another band called Inocula, and then keep moving toward episode 100. I appreciate so much the people that have left comments, the people that have ordered merch from samswansonmusic.com/store, that have supported my endeavors. So I look forward to continuing and finishing this series in 2025. I wish you a happy new year, and thank you for your time.